Hey, what's up, house groups? I'm going to be as brief as I ever am, which I realize is not very brief in this video. I'm coming to you from O'Hare Airport on my way to Orlando to the Exponential Church Planting Conference. We're heading down there with two people from Minnesota and one guy from Texas to try and convince them that maybe, just maybe, it's time for them to take a giant leap of faith and plant a church to reach new people in a new place in new ways. And so for your prayers this week, be praying for those individuals who are considering church planting and just for that time that it would be fruitful. But coming back, it's crazy that these are stacked from a gathering for the Timothy Initiative. If you guys remember, in November we took an offering to help build a church plant training center in South Sudan for the Timothy Initiative and help them start some churches. And just got the chance over the last few days to meet with some church planting leaders from around the world, from East Africa, West Africa, India, Malaysia, Thailand, Nepal, and what they're doing is incredible. Just so many stories of kind of exactly what Tony talked about on Sunday. Jesus changing everything for people, rescuing them from belief in evil spirits that cannot heal, that cannot change, that cannot bring freedom and hope and eternity. And just heard story after story after story of Jesus changing people's lives. And it was incredible. And it challenged me to think about, you know, what Jesus is doing in my life and how much hope I have that I wouldn't have without Christ, and how much bolder I need to be in sharing that hope with the people around me. Because I think it's easy for us sometimes in the context of this missional world to look at church planters and missionaries in Africa and Asia and be like, well, it's easy over there. It's easy to see how Jesus could change the life of somebody who's like believing that a witch doctor can make them well, even though, you know, whatever spell a witch doctor casts cannot make them well. But I think we're surrounded in the United States of America by people who are broken and hurting, who are all out of hope and just have no idea how to move forward in a healthy direction. And our lives crash into those people every single day. Every place we go, they're around us. And I was talking to a guy named Andre. He's from Jamaica. His wife's from Florida, and they have decided to give the rest of their lives to planting churches and reaching people in Kenya and West Africa. And he said sometimes we think it's easier to share our faith in Africa or Asia, you know, with these people who've never heard the gospel before than it is in America. He's like, that's not true. It's not any easier there than it is here. In fact, it's probably easier in the United States. It's easier knowing that if you talk to someone who's not interested in the United States, they'll just brush you off and not listen. If you talk to someone who's not interested in Kenya, they might burn your house down. If you talk to someone who's not interested in Nepal, they might drag you out in the street and kill you. They might threaten your kids or your family. It's certainly not easier there than it is here. But if we really believe that Jesus changes things, like if we really have an incredible hope living inside of us, if Jesus has changed us, who we are, our future and our eternity, but not just like out there changed us, but changed us right here, right now, every single day of our lives, we're able to live with like a kind of hope that we didn't have before, then we ought to be bold in sharing that, because there are hopeless people all around us every single moment of every single day in the United States of America. And so I guess my challenge to all of us tonight is to take Tony's words seriously, to say, like, if Jesus really changes everything, and he does, then there's stuff in our lives that doesn't belong anymore once we belong to Jesus. And as we live, because it robs us of who we're created to be. It robs us of everything God made us for. And so, like, I challenge us all to be real honest about the stuff that gots to go, to quote Tony, from our lives, the stuff that we got to get rid of, and to open up ourselves and our hearts and our lives and our souls to God changing and transforming us, so that we can walk back out into a dark world and have a story to tell about who Jesus is and what he does and the hope that he offers. And I challenge us to be more bold in sharing that story. Like, I just met a whole bunch of people who are risking their lives every single day because they believe that the hope the world is desperate for is the hope that's found in Jesus Christ, changing everything about our lives. Not just our eternity, but our lives right here, right now. A guy named Cujo, he's the head guy for the Francophone countries in East Africa, Togo and Benin and Ivory Coast and that. And he stood up and he said, if you guys are going to pray for us, here's what I want. Don't waste your time and don't waste your breath praying for all the persecution to stop. Don't pray that our houses wouldn't be burned down and we wouldn't get killed. Like, stop wasting your time and your breath on that. That is going to happen. Jesus said in the world we are going to have trouble. If you pray for us, pray that we'll have the strength to endure it. Pray that we'll have the courage to be bold anyway. Pray that we will continue to plant churches because Jesus changes everything and we are not afraid to die. And it just blew me away. It blew me away because I thought about how easy it is in America to just like keep on rocking with the lives we live, pretending that that Jesus hasn't made a huge difference for us. But for us, he changes everything. He gives us a new hope and a future. He surrounds us with his love. And so I challenge all of you to take a look and say, if I belong to that, what doesn't belong in my life? And how then can I take the story of what Jesus has done and is doing in me and share it boldly with the people around me? Because I know that so many of them are desperate for the hope and love that's found in the gospel message.